Audie, I have autism and I don't know a lot, but I do read a lot. Welcome to my shelf. These are all the books I have yet to read. There's only like a week left in the month, and every month for about the past year, my partner has picked out a book of the month for me to read. He goes in knowing nothing, just going off of covers and vibes. He actually stresses out quite a bit about his selection, which is just part of the fun for me, personally. Anyway, this month's book that he picked out, I have high hopes because it's about a youngin' who lives with an elderly woman. Do I need to say again how much I love stories with elderly protagonists? Probably not. I definitely have higher hopes for this than I have for other things he's chosen in the past, such as this, which was just a mess of a book. Just off, don't read it. This one was actually good. Collection of weird short stories. New favorite author. Another collection of weird short stories. Classic banger. Two books I don't really want to talk about. Not worth the hype. Hakume and Makochi, Tiny Life in the Woods. They're just little guys. Little guys living in the woods. They ride beetles for transportation. Hello, Old Woman's Story. Funny. Very much could relate as an autistic. I don't want to explain that. This is about a serial killer. Some questionable stuff about how we view people who are addicted to drugs, but other than that, anyway, this is what's on deck. This is what's next. Why did he pick it out? I would be surprised if even he knew why he chose this, but nevertheless, let the reading commence. There she is. Alright. 100-page check-in. Oh, this is Ella Toad. She's our reading buddy for tonight. So we're all cozy. And we're cozy with such a good book so far. Oh, I'm so excited. It's so nice. The whole thing takes place in an old Victorian house that's kind of dilapidated. And the tenants all get told that it's being torn down, and so they get eviction notices. One of our main protagonists, Dorothy, she's an old woman who's lived there for 30 plus years, and she's determined to not let this happen. So is her neighbor across the way. He gets attacked after protesting outside of the offices of their landlord, protesting the eviction of the tenants. And the young girl who was subletting from him, our other main character, Kat, she and Dorothy are teaming up to not only figure out who attacked Joseph, because they both believe it was an attack and not just an accident, while simultaneously trying to save the building. This is also a dual POV story, so you'll get chapters from Kat's point of view and then chapters from Dorothy's point of view. So it's very nice like that. We get to spend a lot of time with Dorothy, which I appreciate, which I wanted from this book when I heard it was about an old woman and a young woman teaming up. It's very fun. The writing is so easy. The characters are just lifelike. And actually, I read about 30 pages before I went on the website of The Ripped Bodice. Heyo! And I ordered another book by this author that's actually a romance, obviously, because it's from The Ripped Bodice, which is a romance-only bookstore. It's a romance about an elderly man who is trying to find his long-lost love. Since I was loving so much the way that this author was treating these elderly characters, I have faith that she will treat the character in this other book with as much care and dignity as she treats these characters. As I bought it, I was like, ooh, I hope this is not another Lucy Score moment. Let's all take a moment to remember how I bought The Dead Guy Next Door, and it turned out to be a total mess. In The Dead Guy Next Door, in that Lucy Score book, nobody was a real character. They were all caricatures. In this, they're actually characters. They're actually real. They're people that you know, or you could know. Some of them are mean, some of them are rude. They blast music, just like one of my neighbors. Some of them are polite enough, but clearly have problems. They're just real. They're just real people. I especially love Dorothy, the older lady. She keeps a diary of every single thing that happens. Here's a particularly good moment in one of Dorothy's days. Her grocery delivery had arrived this afternoon, and she was enjoying a particularly delicious cream eclair while she wrote a sternly worded letter to the council about a loose paving stone outside. I just love the image of this little old lady with her pot of tea eating her eclair, just being peeved the hell off and making it everybody else's problem. Morning and night, she also walks around the property to note things that are wrong and things that the landlord needs to fix, which of course he never does because he's a slumlord. Gee, I wonder what that's like. Also, Dorothy hates her neighbor Joseph, the one who got attacked. We don't know why, but she made a vow 30 years ago that she would never speak to him again. Who knows why? Not me, not yet. Kat, the young girl who is subletting from Joseph, she also has a seedy history with this place, and we don't understand why. But apparently, years and years ago, she was living with her grandfather, and he told her to get out of town or he would call the police and report her for what she's done. So why did she come back to this town? I don't know. But she's constantly afraid that someone's going to recognize her and that her grandfather is going to find out that she's living there, and like it'll be a whole slew of problems. So she is dealing with these conflicting emotions of fearing her grandfather finding her, but also wanting her grandfather to find her so that presumably she can have a relationship with him again, because she really doesn't have any family. It's this tug of war within her of wanting to belong and yet knowing that you don't. But I just find Dorothy so relatable. There's a scene where Dorothy is going to her landlord's office to complain, and it's, you know, across town. Dorothy almost turned back, overwhelmed as she was by the traffic and the noise and the proximity of strangers. Girl, same. That's how I feel anytime I'm in public. She's a little paranoid, but that's okay. She's got stuff going on. But don't we all? And if we live to be her age, I'm sure we'll have a lot more stuff going on. She's just real. What can I say? In this video alone, I've said that I've related to a story about a serial killer, and now about a reclusive old woman. Just finding out lots about my personality in this one. Good morning. Happy New Day, same day. This is why I say Happy New Day, same day, because technically it's the same day as the last clip, but to me it's a new day because I've slept my night. I've woken up, I've showered, I've moisturized, and I've put on the same clothes because why wouldn't I? It's clean enough. I don't know how much reading we're gonna get done today. It's been a couple weeks since I left the house. I think I'm gonna try to get out there, mingle amongst the people. Sounds horrible. I'm definitely gonna have a Dorothy moment. I really do see myself in this 77-year-old woman. It's part of the reason why it's so nice to read books with elderly characters. It's like seeing my future. Anyway, let's get this day started. I don't know what is with this book, but things keep happening that are like very similar to circumstances that I've had in my own life, and it just keeps hitting. It's hitting right in the heart, right in the gut. Ugh. This book. Everybody in this freaking building has secrets. I had to like take my glasses off because I keep rubbing my face in disbelief of the things that these characters are saying to each other. It's just like, it's drama. It's drama, but it's also so, these characters are so real. I've identified so much with Dorothy, and like learning about her past and learning about Kat's past has been so sad. Ugh. It's been so impactful because we spent a lot of time with them, just learning about them and just like feeling their feelings. I don't know, they just seem like so real. And so now learning about their secrets and their past and their pain is just like, Dorothy and Kat are like mirrors of each other, right? And so they know exactly the right buttons to push on each other to inflict the most amount of pain. They're both going through so much, and they're both suffering through so much that it's kind of made each of them kind of miserable people. And to see them, this like push and pull of Kat and Dorothy against each other, like wanting connection but pushing it away because they don't think they deserve it for X, Y, and Z reasons, and just saying the most heinous things to each other in order to push each other away. And it hurts, which is like such a testament to how well written these characters are. There's a plot, but the real meat and potatoes is the characterization of Dorothy and Kat and what they go through, and learning about them and living life with them. And this is not what I expected when I started reading this. I thought it was just gonna be like a fun little murder mystery, but it's so much more than that, and it's so well done. This book is really good. I have less than 100 pages left, so I gotta plow through this, but it's like, how am I gonna make it? Oh, this man is stupid. What? Wait, what? Well, this is bleak. This is not how I expected this to go. Hi, we're taking a brief intermission to go on a field trip. Where are we going?
To the bookstore.
To the bookstore! And I'm back. Did you have fun? I hope so. Let's quickly go over what we grabbed at the bookstore. Just to reiterate, The Adventures of Amina Al-Sarafi by Shannon Chakraborty. This is a pirate adventure with a woman who's getting the band back together, and she's in her 40s to go on one last adventure. This is the next reading roommates pick, so should be fun. Woman Eating by Claire Coda. This is short, under 250 pages. It is a vampire novel about desire, as most vampire novels are about. Apparently it's delicious and original. I don't know, but it's vampires. Then we have Bloom by Delilah S. Dawson. All I know is that this is a short horror story about lesbian desire. And they meet at a farmer's market. Lesbians! Finally, we have this sick edition of War of the Worlds by H.G. Wells. Check that out. It's not my favorite story, but the illustrations, man. It's the illustrations. And of course, the most important thing we got today, sorry, not thing, the most important person that we got today is Elliot the Frog. Beyond books, I love collecting handmade dolls. And Elliot, I mean, he's fabulous. Look at these shorts. Look at these flippers. He is set to swim. He is set to have the best summer of his life. Oh, I'm so glad he's home. Look at his gnarly little fingers. Anyway. And then it just so happened that I actually got books in the mail today as well. So I'll share those with you. Does anybody remember when I was going on and on about how I got this book in the mail, but it was a mass market paperback with a glossy cover? Well, I have the right edition now. It's the right size, and it's a matte cover. It's so good. It's the Greta Van Helsing series by Vivian Shaw. What is this about? The first one was about Greta Van Helsing. She's a doctor to supernatural creatures, and she solves mysteries with her vampire and ghoul pals and all sorts of pals. It's super fun. It's a really fun tone. It's a great time. The first one of this series, called Strange Practice, was actually my first 5-star of the year, so I'm psyched. And then we have 3 books by the same author, David Sodergren. I just recently read one of his books called The Forgotten Island, which was his debut horror novel. And he writes real pulpy horror. It's the equivalent of watching a B-movie. It's fun. It's not really scary, but it's fun. He writes characters, men. He writes men as dicks, and then he makes them pay for their crimes in all sorts of different disemboweling ways. So I love that. So first up, we have his newest release, Rotten Tommy. I don't know a lot about it. The monster comes from a VHS tape. Fight to survive. Also, apparently the main character in this is autistic, so there's autism rep, which, hello, exciting. Then, Maggie's Grave. Guess what? I know even less about. It's apparently about a small Scottish town, and when I mean small, I mean it has 47 people living in it. This is folk horror featuring Maggie, who was killed as a witch and buried in this town, and she gets revenge, I guess. Love that for her. And then the last one I'm especially excited about, The Har. And I'm excited because it has an elderly protagonist in it. Apparently an older woman is the main character, and she is fighting to save her small Scottish village from development by capitalistic scumbags. And this creature called the Har comes and helps her out with that. I've heard people cry while they read this, and they also say that it makes them want to tell their loved ones that they love them. I don't know. I'm very excited. I think I might start this next. But anyway, speaking about elderly protagonists, let's wrap up. I really liked this. I think I've talked a lot about it already. This is not the murder mystery that I thought it was going to be. It's really just about the lives of these characters, and I have to say that the elderly characters in the story are treated with a lot of respect. They're full characters, they're full people, they have lives, they have personalities, they have opinions, and you know their opinions. I thought the mystery that we did have was interesting. It was relatable because it was involving a horrible landlord. Too real. It didn't end how I thought it would end, which is great. I love that. The ending was a little like, whoa. It was a whirlwind, but you get all of your questions answered, even ones you might have forgotten you asked. This is a great addition to my old lady literature. This was a success. Anyway, Elliot and I would like to say a thank you for joining us on this most eventful weekend. I hope you had fun. That's it. Okay, bye.